Meet the Schema sisters. Introducing Schema and Model. These two characters, though sisters, couldn't be more different in their approach to life and work. Schema and Model were sisters. They were also roommates. This was a problem. Their contrasting personalities often led to conflicts, making their shared living space a battleground of order versus chaos. Schema was all about order. She thrived in an environment where everything was in its place, and nothing was left to chance.
Everything has its place, she'd often say, with a sense of pride and satisfaction.
She'd declare, straightening picture frames. Her meticulous nature ensured that their home was always neat and tidy, a place where everything had a designated spot. Model, on the other hand, thrived on chaos. She found beauty in the unpredictable and the spontaneous.
Rules are made to be broken, she'd say with a rebellious twinkle in her eye.
She'd say, scattering colorful scarves wherever she pleased. Her creative spirit couldn't be contained by rigid structures or predefined rules.
Why can't you be more organized? Schema would often ask, her voice tinged with frustration.
Schema would sigh, exasperated. She couldn't understand how Model could live in such disarray.
Why can't you loosen up? Model would retort, her tone light and teasing.
Model would fire back, grinning mischievously. She believed that life was too short to be spent worrying about every little detail. Despite their differences, they needed each other. Their contrasting approaches created a balance that neither could achieve alone. Schema, like a database schema, provided structure. She ensured that everything was organized and easy to find. Model, like a mongoose model, brought that structure to life. She added the creativity and flexibility that made their world vibrant and dynamic. Together, Schema and Model demonstrated the importance of both order and creativity. They showed that structure and flexibility are not mutually exclusive, but can complement each other beautifully. Their journey was a testament to the power of collaboration. By embracing their differences, they were able to create something truly remarkable. In the end, Schema and Model found a way to coexist harmoniously. Their story is a reminder that balance is key, and that we all need a bit of order and a bit of chaos in our lives. So, whether you're more like Schema or Model, remember that both order and creativity have their place. Embrace your strengths, but also appreciate the value of the other side. And with that, the Schema sisters bid you farewell, hoping that their story inspires you to find your own balance between structure and spontaneity. Schema decided their house needed a makeover, a complete organizational overhaul.
First, she announced, unfurling a blueprint, we're categorizing everything.
Model rolled her eyes.
Here we go.
Schema pointed to a section on her blueprint.
Books go on the bookshelf, and they must be arranged by author, alphabetically.
Model picked up a dusty book.
But this book about talking dolphins needs to be by the window. They like the view.
No exceptions. Rules are rules.
This was how Schema validated data, ensuring everything fit neatly in its designated spot. One day, Model skipped into the house, arms laden with peculiar objects. She had a wide grin on her face, clearly excited about her latest finds. Each item seemed to tell a story, and she couldn't wait to share them with Schema.
Look what I found, she exclaimed, presenting Schema with a rusty ship in a bottle. It was an old, weathered piece, but Model saw beauty in its history and uniqueness.
Schema frowned. She was always more practical and less sentimental about such things.
Where are you going to put that? Schema asked, her voice tinged with concern. The house was already filled with various items Model had collected over time.
Somewhere special, of course. Model replied with a twinkle in her eye. She always had a knack for finding the perfect spot for her treasures.
She darted off, leaving Schema shaking her head. Schema couldn't help but smile at Model's enthusiasm, even if she didn't always understand it. Later, Model introduced a group of new friends she'd met at the flea market. Each one had a unique story and background, just like the items she collected.
This is Bob the juggler and his pet parrot, Coco, she announced. Bob was a master of his craft, and Coco added a splash of colour and personality to his performances.
Schema raised an eyebrow. She was always cautious about new additions to their home.
Do they have, perhaps, an invitation? Schema inquired, her tone serious. She was meticulous about who and what entered their space. We are in the middle of organising our data, you see, Schema explained, gesturing to the shelves filled with neatly arranged items.
Only those who fit the defined schema could be added to their collection. Schema had a system, and she believed in maintaining order. Model, on the other hand, saw potential in everything and everyone. It was this balance that made their partnership so unique and dynamic. While Schema focused on structure and organization, Model brought in creativity and spontaneity. Together, they created a harmonious environment where both order and chaos coexisted beautifully. Model's love for data wasn't just about collecting items. It was about finding stories and connections in the most unexpected places. And Schema, despite her initial reservations, always found a way to appreciate Model's perspective. Their home was a testament to their combined efforts, a place where every item had a story, and every story had a place. Model was throwing a party, a grand data entry gala. Guests poured in, each representing a piece of data. The atmosphere was electric, with vibrant colors and lively music filling the air. Each data point was excited to be part of this grand event, hoping to make a significant impact. Schema stood guard at the door, meticulously checking her clipboard. She was the gatekeeper, ensuring that only the most accurate and validated data points were allowed entry. Her eyes scanned each guest with precision, her clipboard a fortress of rules and regulations.
Name, she barked at a nervous-looking data point. Her voice was sharp, cutting through the noise of the party. The data point, taken aback by her stern demeanor, fumbled for words.
Data point 42? He squeaked. His voice was barely audible, trembling with uncertainty. He had heard stories about Schema's strictness and was now experiencing it firsthand.
You're not on the guest list. Only validated data allowed. Schema's voice was unwavering, her eyes narrowing as she double-checked her list. The data point's heart sank, feeling the weight of rejection.
Model, rushing over, intervened. He had been keeping an eye on the entrance, knowing that Schema's strictness could sometimes be a bit too much for new data points. He approached with a reassuring smile, ready to smooth things over.
It's okay, Schema, he's with me. He's a new data point, full of potential. Model's voice was calm and confident, his presence a beacon of hope for the nervous data point. He placed a reassuring hand on data point 42's shoulder, guiding him towards the entrance.
Schema sighed, reluctantly letting data point 42 in. Adding new entries to their collection could be a challenge, but Model always found a way. She knew that Model had a knack for seeing potential where others saw uncertainty. As data point 42 entered the party, he felt a mix of relief and excitement. The grand gala was a world of possibilities, and he was eager to prove his worth. Schema watched him go, her mind already shifting to the next guest. The night was young, and the data entry gala was just beginning.
The living room, according to me, needed a refresh. We're repainting beige. It's calm, neutral, organized.
But red is so much more exciting.
Model, we agreed on beige. This is chaos.
But change is good.
Updating their data, like repainting a room, could be a messy but ultimately rewarding process.
Where's that hideous porcelain cat figurine Aunt Mildred gifted us?
Oh, that old thing? I donated it.
Donated it? But we need proper documentation. We can't just delete data without a trace.
It was taking up valuable space. Besides, less clutter, less stress, right?
Deleting data, Schema reminded her, required careful consideration and a systematic approach.
Family reunion chaos. It was time for the annual family data reunion. Collections from all over the database gathered under one roof. The text strings go with the text strings, the numbers with the numbers.
But the Booleans want to sit with the arrays. They were just telling me about their new sorting algorithm.
Joining different datasets, Schema realized, could be a logistical nightmare, but it also brought new connections and insights.
Know you've been a good friend.
Can't we all just get along? Why do we even bother? We're hopeless.
But that's the fun of it, right? We balance each other out.
Schema had to admit, Model had a point. Schema provided the structure, the rules, the order. Model brought the creativity, the flexibility, the lifeblood to their data. Schema and Model's dynamic duo, the power of teamwork. Working with databases, they realized, was a lot like running their chaotic household. Schema, like a well-defined schema, ensured data integrity and consistency. Model, like a mongoose model, made that data accessible and meaningful. They learned to appreciate their differences.
My meticulous nature keeps our data organized and reliable.
And my creativity allows us to explore new possibilities and find unexpected connections.
MongoDB Melodrama, the end, or is it? And so, the Schema sisters continued their chaotic yet strangely harmonious existence, proving that even in the world of databases, a little bit of drama can be a good thing. After all, what's life without a little bit of chaos?
Cheers to our unique blend of order and creativity.
Here's to the chaos that makes life interesting.
And with that, they toasted to their ongoing adventure in the world of data.